60+-year-olds of Reddit, what is something you wish you spent more time doing? Maintaining relationships with old friends. Life shifted to kids, and a job, a home, and fulfilling the multiple obligations that come with adulthood. I'm still in contact with old friends, but I regret not putting in a little more time effort keep old friends close. 65 here. Nothing that I can determine with certainty would have made my life better or changed its course. Like most people, I lived day by day. I had strengths and weaknesses, talents and handicaps, good luck and bad. Despite a lot of bad luck, I believe that the majority of my luck was good. The talents I had were in demand at the time, and I was paid well. I had a long and successful career as an engineer, and completed many successful projects for happy bosses and customers. Yeah, I wish that I had learned piano when very young, but being a good musician would have completely changed other things in my life. Yeah, I wish I had gone to Caltech instead of UCSD, but UCSD was a fine school. Overall, things worked out well. I'm not done yet. I'm currently inventing and manufacturing machines for glass walk. The adventure continues. I'm 53, but my wife is 63. According to her, spending more time with family. We spend hella time with our kids and grandkids, but she always wants more. Less time working, more time relaxing. She also wishes she had the wisdom of a 60-year when she was a young mother at 22. Edit. Before we met, she was into competitive horse jumping. She regrets the decade she spent doing that. Too much money and very high risk of injury. She got thrown during a show and ended up breaking ankle, and she was done with horses after that. Pursuing a medical degree or some science related field. I was in the you must get married era. My life turned out great, but now I'm too happy with my life to go back. I presume you're a woman. Well, you could always take courses without any intent of actually pursuing a new career. Solely out of personal interest. Correct. The marriage comment was a clue, I suppose. I have taken many art classes for fun after my graduate degree. You have planted a seed. There is a junior college not far from here. I should pursue this before I stagnate. Lol. I do follow many online medical related sites. I have spent my career in medical administration, but I'd love to be in a neurosurgery. Lol. I'm 60. Had a great life so far. Grew up poor. Got a few lucky breaks and people who gave me a chance. Was fortunate enough to make the most of it and have things work out well. Have managed to land on my feet for no apparent reason in several situations where others have not. No idea why. The one thing I wish I had spent more time doing would be recognizing the signs of addiction. My youngest passed away on Christmas Eve 2003 from an overdose. He was 18. It devastated us, and we'll never get over it. I knew he smoked weed, we do too, but didn't realize the sheer amount of stuff he was trying, and how deep he was into it. Never, ever mix opioids and benzodiazepines, Xanax, Valium, etc. You'll go to sleep, and you'll never wake up, and your dad will find you dead in bed. Saving $, completing college, living where you desire, instead of being forced to live where the job is, learning how to play a music instrument. Sure, my technical degree kept me employed, but I took a beating during the Great Recession with periods of unemployment when I turned 50, currently gainfully employed but won't have a normal retirement, hoping my health holds up. C.S. Lewis, the Narnia author, wrote a book called The Screwtape Letters. It is a very funny series of letters supposedly from a devil named Screwtape to his nephew Wormwood, a junior tempter on Earth. Screwtape recommends that one way to lure your patient into hell is to get the person to do nothing, to be passionate about nothing, to basically just aimlessly waste time, not having fun, not doing anything useful. So that at last he may say, as one of my own patients said on his arrival down here, I now see that I spent most of my life in doing neither what I ought nor what I liked. That comment has always stuck with me, especially when I get a case of yes, but I'd like to travel, but I believe this cause is very important and I should get involved, but it would be fun to learn a new language, but the house needs painting, but so I have been to all 7 continents. I astonished my family by my willingness to march for causes, even unpopular ones. I can say either hello or good morning in something like 20 languages. Okay, the house still does need painting. The one thing I wish I had spent more time on was not letting distance separate me from friends and acquaintances. That, and going to more baseball games. The activities that are important to me. I wish I had spent more time doing what I enjoyed, or what gave me a sense of purpose in life. Life suddenly filled up with all the things I had to do, or felt obligated to do, or were important to the people who were important to me. The pursuits that brought joy or a feeling of purpose or accomplishment were pushed aside. What were these activities you missed? I wish I had traveled more. I was fortunate to have had the opportunity to visit several nations, but there are many more I want to experience. I would also like to have been more politically active and been more actively involved with other charitable organizations I support. I always wanted a big vegetable garden and to learn some fancy dance moves and to have read more books and to live in an urban center for a while. I volunteered at old people's home 2 years ago, and lots of the old folk loved to dish out advice. I got lots of contradicting advice where some said, don't devote your life to your kids, and others saying the opposite, but generally every one of them said appreciate my health and youth and have fun. Travel, party, have sex, be ambitious, etc. They all seem to regret things not done, rather than things they did. Enjoying being single instead of desperately looking for a man. I see a lot of younger folks that aren't falling prey to that, and I'm so happy to see that. 57F. I appreciate you saying that. But the second part about falling prey bothers me. People should do what makes them happy. The relationship-oriented route might not have worked for you, but it might for someone else, and vice versa. Especially if by enjoying being single you mean sleeping around, which has all kinds of pros and cons. Oh, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Married to a good man for 24 years now. I just mean the desperate yawn part. If I could do it over, I would just enjoy my life, not necessarily sleeping around, and know that I'd find the right guy at some point. Really, it was just me looking for someone else to prop up my low self-esteem at the time. My mom turned 71 in July and has been waxing poetically about life. I asked her this question today when I took her shopping. Here is her responses. Got out of toxic relations. My wording, not hers. She wishes she left my father sooner and regrets staying in bad relationships as long as she did. Life is easier when you're single. Getting rid of things, not acquiring things, and keeping the house tidier. She dreads having to move into senior housing and make decisions on stuff she should have never kept as long as she did. Exercising. She told me how she used to get on her mom for not exercising and wishes she did it more as she got older. As she got older, she saw how hard it was to make time to be active. And to top it off, her mobility has been limited for the past 15 years with severe spinal stenosis. She can't wait to recover enough to walk the High Line in New York City, take her dog out for long walks, and go swimming. Listen to more punk music. My mom is a bit eccentric. She actually apologized for not introducing me to punk. I don't think there is really a reason beyond just being a fan of it. This conversation also led to her asking if I'd take her to see Brian Jones' Town Massacre and expressing her disappointment for not being able to see Fetty Wap in concert when he cancelled last minute. Going to college. That's it. I'm pretty satisfied with most of the way I've lived my life. But here's a question. If you had immersed yourself in college and continued on to a more strenuous career such as higher education prepares you for, would you still have had that satisfying life? I had the career I wanted. I was a successful journalist for 25 years, owned my own crusading weekly. I was a librarian for 14 years, deriving a great deal of pleasure from helping people. I even got to be a singer in a band. The only thing I have left to do, that I wanted to do, is run a junk store, and I may yet do that. I raised 5 liberal children in Oklahoma, working on adding more liberals via the 7 grandchildren. Just got out of a toxic work environment. Yep, pretty satisfied. Taking risks instead of climbing right on the full-time job treadmill. Back in the 70s and 80s there was plenty of time and opportunity to try new things, maybe fail, and try again and maybe succeed at something I really wanted to do. Instead I did what I was raised to do, and hopped right on the treadmill. It's harder to do that today unless you have resources or your family does, but if you can stay debt free, the option still applies even without family wealth and connections. I would have liked to have spent more time learning art. Other than that, I've done most of the things I see on people's bucket lists. It has been an interesting life so far. Not perfect, thankfully. Plenty happened to keep me interested. Can't say I started with a plan. I was one of those people who everyone else worried about. Have you got a full-time job yet? Are you saving money yet? Etc. Just wandered along trying things until something clicked and I found a career that I liked. Even then I kept moving and changing paths within it. A healthy dose of bullshit luck maybe? Who knows? It just worked out. At this stage I'm glad I did have a good mix of experiences. Life does not come with any guarantee whatsoever. Health has knocked me back a few times recently. Waiting until I have time is a fool's game. Without being stupid, get out and do what you want to do. See what you want to see. Later may not come. But art. Wish I had spent more time on it. It is one of the truly worthwhile things. Still time though. I was looking at classes in town just today.